clean out on the outside front was clear, so the blockage did not extend to that. That's the 2-inch drop from both kitchens, and that was not a grease not a blockage right there from the grease, so that's good. That's the next clean out right there, and everything was flowing free, so that's good. And this is on the other side of the heat and air system. Took that cap off, it was running clear, so that's good. This is where it bends up, and you can tell I replaced that, and that's the Fernco coupling. And that's what I disconnect, so I can look up the main 4-inch run. When I did that, right at that fitting there, that's a double T 4-inch cast iron. Right there is where the blockage was. And that's where both bathrooms come in. And a little further on is where it leaves the house. And if I looked up there, I saw the blockage. I got what I could out. I won't go into the method. But then I poured a bucket of water on the outside in the clean out, and that flushed the entire thing. So there's the initial point of attack on the outside of the house. And what happens is any debris in those lines, the copper there is, I think, the sink, maybe the tub shower, I forget, but that's the toilet in B. And it comes down, collects, and it just really sits there. There's nothing to push it down. There's no slope, or very, very little slope. The inside of the pipe is very rough. It catches debris. So what I'm going to do is bypass this troublesome part right there, the cast iron. And I'm going to come into the main stack, maybe right in there, but certainly down there. And that should take care of a whole lot of... That'll be 2 separate entrances, so that ought to do it. And this is under A. And that's the 4-inch cast iron. That's a good 8 feet. And if you take it by the mortar joint right behind it, a little lower than I am, there is no fall. In fact, it kind of looked like it has a bow in the middle just a little bit. But so what happens, anything that comes down that 4-inch cast iron, the water keeps going and it leaves the solids behind. Next time, it might push it a little bit, but it'll get hung up inside that pipe. Now that copper pipe is, I think it's a combination vent and the sink drain. That really has nothing to do with the problem. So anyway, this just clogs up, and it's made worse by the other drain coming from B. And they kind of meet in the middle and have nowhere to go. And gradually the solids get just too heavy to move, and that's when it backs up. So the PVC will be a marked improvement. And I'll call you. They've got to stop doing these repairs without calling you, because they're making the problem worse. There's no water around the toilet because it's coming down here. It's got some crazy kind of caulk around the toilet base, so you don't see it up there, but that water goes somewhere, and that's it right there. So These pipes will have to be done one unit at a time just because of their schedule. And I think what I'm going to do is put a fan down here and just dry this thing out, because that's where we'll be working, right over there. And I'll call you, and it is what it is. If this were a vacant house, it'd be different. You could take all that cast iron out and run everything new. But you got people up there, and you know, this is kind of an unusual situation. So, oh, this is a big part of the problem. In your place, it's laying down flat like that. A comes in, B comes in, this goes out to the clean out, and that's your exit. And it's basically flat. This is not made to be installed flat. It's made to be vertical. And I think you can see that it works. There's no place for it to get jammed up. So when it comes in one side, it bumps into the stuff on the other side, and that's a big part of the problem. So I'll send you an email, and the plan is just to avoid that, a workaround, and then everything will be fine. But if you watch this before you go over there, they have to stop, and the A people have to stop doing their own little fixes. It's just not working. It's damaging the property. So I'll get this up.